BS and beer media. It's Top of the Bleachers with Jason and Tucker.
Handoff, Smith coming right, trying to outrun the coverage, makes a cut, gets it. Oh, he's still going all the way. He's going to score. He's got the five.
Let's see what the guys are talking about today.
You're always going to be cheering. Hey, hello, everybody, and welcome into the Top of the Bleachers. I'm your host, Jason Guthrie, and it's my buddy, partner, best friend, Tuck Scarbrough, and we're here to talk about sports and hang out and just have fun. So, what's up, man? How you doing? Anything going on today?
No,
Thursday.
got done with work about, I don't know, it was around 4 o'clock or around 2 o'clock, and haven't been feeling well the last couple of days. Kind of run down, belly kind of been hurting, so I went ahead and took the day off tomorrow. I'll just go back to work on Saturday.
Taking that Friday off.
Man, I don't know what it is. It's like I just don't have any energy.
Stuff going around, man.
Ugh.
Well, I had a good day. I feel good. I feel better. I took a nap. I feel good. So, and then my daughter sent me a video of my grandbaby, the first one, and she's pulling up on stuff and starting to take off walking with it a little bit, like a drunk person at 3 a.m. But she getting it. You know what I mean? She getting after it. So, it's so amazing.
About time to get her a basketball. You can never be too early to start dribbling, man. You
know.
never be too early to start dribbling.
I got her some hog gear, but she about to outgrow it. I got to get her some more. So we're going to do that, though, for sure. Anything else going on? I mean, I worked this morning, but
that's about it.
Yeah. Well, we got some cool stuff to talk about today. I'm kind of excited about this because I had to do a little bit of research on this to get my list together. But the first thing is top 5 segment,
I had to
right?
do a lot of research.
And I do a lot. I thought of some names right off the top of my head right away, and I had to look them up to see is this guy in? And a couple of them were obviously. I was like, okay, that makes sense, But anyway, top 5 NBA players that never made the Hall of Fame, and this was kind of surprising. Not playing. Nobody that's playing.
Not playing.
You have to be eligible to be in the Hall of Fame. So. So top 5. I didn't do mine 1 through 5, but I can do that. If you want to do do number 5 and I'll do number 5 and go back and forth like that, or you want to do your whole list?
I don't care, man. Either one. I think we're going to have a few of the same names.
We might have the same.
My number 5. Yeah. Spud Webb.
Spud
Webb. Averaged 13 points for the entire thing. 5'5", huge ambassador for the NBA. Can jump his height. He just
dunk champion.
Dunk champion. I think him and Dominique. I don't think they ever even sniffed the NBA finals.
I don't think so either. No, Dominique never did.
I'll remember that dunk contest until the day I die. Watching that guy
awesome.
Jump off the floor and do a 360 dunk. And there's a couple, if you go and look at some of his highlights, which while I was doing this, I started looking at some of their highlights. Spud's got one where he dunks in traffic coming down the middle of the lane. And you know who he dunks over? Manute Bol, man. He just slams one right in Manute Bol's face.
I have seen that clip, I think. That's a good one. I mean, obviously they're not in the Hall of Fame, so I mean they're not gonna be like, oh, that guy was awesome. But
Yeah, well, when it comes down to this list, I feel like some of this is like personal preference. Like these guys,
I agree.
When you start looking up their stats, all these guys have pretty much the same stats. They're right around 15 to 18 points a ball game, So none of these guys on my list were number ones. None of them were number one.
Right.
These are all,
Mine,
well, I take that back. One
that's
of them
not true.
was a number one.
Mine might have been a number one, but he played with a couple of really good players. Okay, I'll go next. Number 5. Kevin Johnson. Remember
Johnson.
KJ? Played for the Phoenix
I
Suns.
do remember KJ. He's on my
KJ
list,
was pretty good.
but he didn't make the top 5.
He didn't make the top 5. Okay, yeah, okay. 3-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, averaged 18 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists.
Yeah.
18 points, 9 assists. Dude, that's good. That's pretty good.
You think that should get you in, man?
I don't know. And here's the nugget. He was drafted, and this is I got a couple guys on my list about this. He was drafted by the Cavs in 1987. KJ
Why didn't they keep
could have been a Cav. I know.
Why didn't
There's a couple more on this list? I know. So that's my number 5.
Who's KJ's best number 2? That Phoenix team.
Probably Barkley, to be honest. They played together.
What about Marley? You can't forget Dan Marley, man. Dan Marley's on that team.
I don't know. And Tom Chambers was on, but they played together for a while too.
Tom Chambers, man. One of the best highlights of a Michael Jordan dunk is him dunking.
He's not in the Hall of Fame. I looked him up. He's not. Yeah. He almost made my list. He's honorable mention. So, all right, that's my number 5. Who's your number 4?
Number 4, I'm going with Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway is not in the Hall of Fame. And again, average good points, good assists, good rebounds. I think what got Tim in trouble is right there at the end of his career. He made a couple comments about gay people and how he felt about them. And I think that might have tarnished the selection committee against him a little bit. Now, I don't know. I don't know that for sure. That would just be my guess. And he's got a kid playing in the NBA. If you're good enough that your son also plays in the NBA, you ought to be right in there. Spud Webb, not in the Hall of Fame. I agree with you, man.
Yeah, I know. Somebody's on your side.
What about your number 4? What you got for 4?
You want me to go next 4? I'm going to go Mark Jackson.
I saw that. I couldn't believe Mark Jackson.
I couldn't believe that. Mark Jackson, I know.
Come on, man, I mean, a little shimmy he used to do.
He didn't have a great stat. I mean, 9 points, 8 assists. It's not bad. Good, and he was so a big part of those teams, like that Indiana team. That's why I said he wasn't the number 1, because he played with Reggie Miller, right? But that team was good, man. They went to the finals.
Yeah, they had a big guy in the middle too.
Schmidt. Rick Schmidt.
Yeah. That dude was like 8 foot tall.
Antonio, what's his name? Yeah, they were loaded. They were good. And he was their leader, their leader.
That was Reggie's best chance to win a championship, probably. That was Reggie's best chance.
And he was a good coach, too. I don't know what he did to make Golden State mad, but he's probably the one most responsible for putting that team together, to be honest. He put them all together and then got fired. It's like he didn't get a chance to coach them really very long.
When you're talking about Mark Jackson, you're talking about a guy that gets fired a lot. I mean, he was a journeyman. He played for a few teams. And then even when he became an analyst, they freaking kicked him and Van Gundy to the side.
Yeah.
And brought in this Doris chick, which I got nothing against Doris or anything, but I'm not a fan of her commentary. Next time you listen, or game 4, when you're listening to her, like everything, it sounds like she wants to jump every guy out there. She just loves this guy. This guy
oh my God,
awesome. It's like, geez, Wheeze.
All right, who's your number 4?
Number 3.
Oh, who was your number 4?
Tim Hardaway.
Okay, who was 5?
5 was Spud Webb.
Oh yeah, I must write these down. All right, number 3.
Mark Price.
Mark Price. I looked at him.
Mark Price is not in the Hall of Fame. And I believe it's simply because he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay.
I'm seeing a trend with the Cavs here not making it into the Hall of Fame.
If Mark Price gets, on any other team, that actually went somewhere, didn't have the Bulls standing in their way, he probably is in the Hall of Fame. Because honestly, and this is going to make some people upset, he didn't have a Karl Malone. But as far as comparable, him and John Stockton were pretty much the same person.
Yeah, he could shoot the three, man.
John Stockton's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But not Mark Price.
I know, that is surprising too. I thought that too. I saw him, and I give him honorable mention. You know what I mean? I had him on my list, but he didn't make my top 5, I guess. But he was good, man. I that team, Elo, Brad Doherty, those guys,
Nance,
Larry Nance.
They had Larry Nance for a while.
Yeah, man, the team was really good.
Yeah, the only problem was they had the Chicago Bulls standing in their way every year.
That happened to a lot of people.
We would knock out. I say we. I was a Chicago Bulls fan at the time when Michael was around.
Yeah,
we would knock out Cleveland, and Detroit would come along and knock us out for the longest time. We put out Cleveland, Detroit put us out. We'd put out Cleveland, Detroit would put us out. Oh, it seemed like every year.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Bobby? We're good, man. How are you?
Real good.
Good to see Bobby here. That's who Coach Lee was telling us about last night. So thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Coach Lee and
my number. Okay, no, you're up number 2, right?
No, you didn't do your number 3. What's your number 3?
Yeah, I did 3. I didn't. I did Kevin Johnson. Then I did Mark Jackson.
Yeah. Who's your number 3?
Number 3. This is getting tough here. I'm going to go with my guy. He's already been mentioned on this show once. Mr. Jeff Hornacek. Mr. Jeff Hornacek, man. I love this guy. I don't know what's wrong with you guys, man. Jeff Hornacek was a good player. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 40% from 3-point. That's good, man. 87% free throw shooter. I knew you'd like that. 87% from the line.
If you hit your free throws, you're a stud, man.
And here's the tidbit about him. He was drafted by the Phoenix Suns in 1986.
Really?
So he could have been a Sun.
Yeah, he could have played with KJ
the whole time, right? Yeah. He could play with KJ. He played. I forget where he was at before Utah.
He played on a good team. I mean, they were so close. They were so close to a championship. But again, that number 23 standing in their way with the flu, man. With the flu.
Yeah.
Where were you? No, that was the Phoenix series. I remember when the Bulls were playing the Phoenix. We were at Boys State here in Conway, crowded into a room with like 200 other guys watching on a screen like this big.
Yeah, in the dorm. Yeah, in the dorm thing. Yep. There was a lot of guys. We were all pumped for that game, though. That was awesome. That was really fun, actually.
That was.
All right, you want me to go next? Number 2.
Number 2. Who's your number 2?
You're gonna hate this.
No, probably.
This is gonna make you mad, probably.
Okay.
Bill Laimbeer, man. Come on, put Bill Laimbeer in the hall. Come
Bill
on,
Laimbeer, man.
13 points, 10 rebounds. Drafted by the Cavs in 1979.
And if I remember right, he shot in the 80s in the free throw percentage too.
His stats were pretty good, dude. I didn't write him down, but he did have good stats, pretty good numbers. 35% from 3, I remember, which is pretty decent. You know, he was a good 3-point shooter. He was the bad boy of the bad boys. You know what I mean? He's the one. He was their little. I
got one for you about Bill Laimbeer, but I'm going to save it because he's on my list too. My number 2, Big Shot Bob. How do you not have Robert Horry, 7-time NBA champion? How do you not have Big Shot Bob?
You just stole my number 1. You stole my number 1. That's my number 1.
How in the world do you not have Big Shot Bob?
I don't know. Matt called me a while ago, and he was like, I was telling him about our topics. I was like, you're not going to believe this. Did you know there's a 7-time NBA champion that's not a Hall of Famer? And he was like, no. no, there's no way. He had to be on the end of the bench. I was like, no. His nickname was Big Shot Bob.
Big Shot Bob, dude. That guy was awesome. The only thing that I've got against Robert Ory, okay, this is the only thing, is I believe he played his college ball at Alabama.
He did.
So that
He
is
did.
my
I did
only.
not.
That's
It
my
was
only
hard.
complaint.
It was hard to like him for sure because I remembered him in college. But yeah,
All right,
that was my number one.
Before you get to, your number one was Robert Ory? Well,
yeah, that was
my number one was Bill Laimbeer.
I thought you hated him so bad. There's no way you'd put him on your list.
There is nobody. No, I don't use the word hate because I feel like it's way too strong. We need more love in the world. But if there's anybody I hated, it was Bill Laimbeer, dude. But the reason I hated him was because, he was good. He was good.
He was.
He'd hit that little 12-footer on the baseline, and I mean, it wouldn't touch nothing. It in every time. And the big stat I got on Bill Laimbeer for his career, right? 52% from the field. 52% from the field for a career.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now, how do you have Joe Dumars in the Hall of Fame? You've got Isaiah Thomas in the Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure that weirdo Dennis Rodman is in the Hall of Fame.
He is. I looked him up.
How do you not have Bill Laimbeer in the Hall of Fame? And the only thing I can think, and just like Tim Hardaway, is his personality. If his personality off the floor is anything like his personality on the floor, then that's probably why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I know, man. I was surprised, especially when I saw the 7-time thing. I was just like,
how is Robert Ory not?
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Like the biggest shots ever made by that guy.
And not only that, but for so many teams, man. So many teams. He played for Houston, San Antonio, LA. Those are the three I remember off the top of my head. And big in all of them. Like I think he was actually, I don't know if he won a championship in Houston, but he did in San Antonio and he did in LA.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't have Big Shot Bob in there, man.
I don't either. All right. Anything else on that subject? That was a good segment. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. We should keep the top 5. I like that.
All right, we got to come up with another top 5.
Yeah, I got to have top 5s each week or something. That's good stuff. All right. Right into the next thing is NBA draft. Again,
NBA draft.
I've done, I would say, a lot of research, but I'm such a college basketball fan, especially over the last few months or whatever, that I've heard a lot of these guys, except for you don't hear a lot about the international guys too much, but that's about to change because those guys are going to start coming to college. There's a bunch of them that are going to be here this next year. It's already starting to trend that way. They're getting these European guys that are, professional, but they're not getting paid yet.
Yeah.
They can still come over and go to college. And so they're scooping them up left and right. These guys are like, rated top 10, like these guys out of France, like the Sar and Risher, Topic. Those guys, man, they're all play overseas over there, and I don't know overseas. So anyway, what did you think? Did you have to research a lot on this?
Research, because when you get out of the SEC, I don't know any of these players, man. I don't watch West Coast basketball because it comes on too late, and I'm an old man, so I don't know anything about the West Coast. You could tell me that the West Coast has got the greatest player in the world. I'd have to just take your word for it because I have no idea. But I think what's more interesting is when you start going down through the draft and you start looking at the teams that are picked. Like Atlanta goes first this year. Mm-hmm. And so what does Atlanta need? And then you start searching around. Everybody says they're going to take this kid from France, or his last name is France. Bronny. Bronny. Yeah. Who names their kid after a roll of paper towels? Can anybody tell me that? why he named his child after a roll of paper towels? Has he got a daughter named Bounty? Does he have a daughter named Bounty or something like that?
Probably. I don't know. He has a daughter. I don't know what her name is though. Bobby says with half the Pac-12 moving to the Big Ten, we'll see more West Coast teams.
That's great, man.
That's true. Arizona going to the Big 12 as well.
Like I said, it's not that I don't want to watch West Coast basketball. It's just that it starts so late.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I'm a Razorback fan, when we started getting a lot of these Kentucky players, I went and watched almost every Kentucky game from last year.
I'm sorry.
Just to watch, DJ and those guys that we got on the team. But in the process of watching them, I watched a lot of Reed Shepherd and Dillingham, and those dudes can play. Reed is a freak, man.
So you thinking top 5?
I think Shepherd top 5 for sure. Man, I wish Shepherd would fall to Orlando. That's exactly the player they need. Oh, if they could get him.
I looked at a few mock drafts, trying to get a feel for what's going on and everything. And there are 2 or 3 mock drafts that got your boy AB being traded from Orlando, going somewhere else.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Which
he shot decent. He shot high 30% from 3, that's better than he was in college.
It's pretty good.
And he's not a bad defender. I don't know. He's just not a star, I don't think. I think he can be a good role player.
I think he just came out of college too early and he needs more seasoning.
That too.
Some guys are ready to play, like that Michael Porter Jr. I think he played 1 game in college because he was hurt the whole time. And I thought, oh man, they're wasting a pick on this guy. And then I saw him play and I was like, they didn't waste that pick. That's a good pick. That kid can play.
Yeah.
I think if AB, which now with Musk gone and Cal coming in, man, how awesome would it have been if AB would have stuck around, man. That would have been awesome. But a lot of these mock drafts got him moving on. And I got to tell you, man, some of them I kind of like. One of them that got him going to the Grizzlies. I'd love to be able to drive over to Memphis and watch AB play. I think that would be awesome, man.
Yeah. What stood out to me was, for one, San Antonio has 2 picks in the top 10 to go along with Mr. Wembley. The number 4 and the number 8. Man, they could walk out of here with a couple of good players. I know all the professionals, I say that in air quotes. This is a horrible draft. It's a horrible draft. This is the worst draft because why? Because there's not a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, a Wembley. There's not some guy like that. So this is a bad draft. I don't buy that. I think there's some good players in here. Reed Shepherd is going to be a good pro. Stephon Castle.
Well, that's the thing, though, man. I mean, it's an educated guess. And when they say this is a bad draft, it wouldn't surprise me if 3 years from now, you got 4 or 5 of these guys that are on the all-star team. And like, oh, that came out of that crappy draft, remember?
Yeah.
These guys they're just taking an educated guess just like everybody else. I mean, you go and you get somebody like a Greg Oden who you think is going to turn your franchise around, and then he, bust up his foot and you never see him again. I mean, just stuff like that. You don't know. A number 1 pick could be a bust. Easy.
Yeah. Man, doesn't Zach Edey wish he grew up in 1985? You know what I mean?
He got to work on his footwork. Man.
If this guy was he's in the wrong time period, or he'd be a number 1 for sure. I think is
he coming out this year?
Yeah, and they're talking low first round. I'm like, that dude is a beast. Let's see where they got him projected in the mock draft I picked up there. They got him going to the Knicks.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. That's crazy. Think about putting him on the Knicks. Wow. That's crazy.
I bet you Brunson wouldn't mind.
No, man. No, nobody's gonna mind. There's some good players. Dalton Connect, that kid from Tennessee.
Yeah.
That kid's good.
Where they got him going.
This one got him projected to go to Utah. No, I don't know. It depends on where you look. They're all different. You know what I mean? So,
I'm telling you.
anybody stand out to you though? Like anybody that you thought, man, that's a good. That dude's gonna be a star.
Well, I haven't got to see the Euro guys play that much, but the Reed Shepherd, man, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I know that he needs to work on his footwork, and I know that he's not that quick, but just sheer size, I'd be willing to take Zach Edey.
No
If
doubt.
I'm drafting before the Lakers, though, I'm going to take Bronny James, and then I'm going to make LeBron come to my team and play for me if he wants to play for his son. That's what I'm going to do.
That's not a bad plan.
That's not a bad plan. Yeah.
He's sneaky. All right. Well, I know we don't know a lot about the draft, but it's coming up pretty quick, so I'm sure we're going to get some more info, and then we'll watch the draft. I'm sure, and we'll have more to talk about.
I think you're going to be down here for the draft, aren't you?
I did. I noticed that. Yeah, I'm going to be down there.
I think maybe we need to do a draft show. Maybe we can put the draft on and talk about talk about the players, and I don't know. Maybe we can figure something.
That might be fun. We'll look into that.
First round's about as far as I'm going, though.
Yeah, first round. I mean, really, just like the first. Well, once they get to Orlando, I'm gonna be like, well, who cares till second round?
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I would like to see where some of these kids go because I think Dillingham and Shepard are both good. And Flipkowski, that Tristan DeSilva kid from Colorado, that kid I remember him in the tournament. That kid's good. He's good too. So I think there's some good players in here. But anyway, anything else you want to add on that?
Well, BS and Beers down here is saying that he's going to talk to the guys about an NBA draft show. I don't know if he's inviting us or stealing our idea. I have no idea. But if you're inviting us, I'm in.
Yeah, that sounds fun. All right, well, moving on then. So this week there was sad news this week. Obviously, Jerry West passed away.
The logo,
Mr. Clutch, Mr. Nickname. You know what I mean? He has a lot of nicknames. I thought that was really cool because I grew up with a nickname all the time too. I've got so many nicknames, it's ridiculous. Some I can't even say on air, but I got some nicknames. That's all I'm going to say.
Those aren't nicknames. It's just what your wife calls you.
Yeah. I did watch a documentary about him this morning.
Oh yeah.
What was it called? Jerry West. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't remember.
Was it on
just on YouTube? Yeah, YouTube. And it was pretty cool. You know, he's from small town in West Virginia, went and played college at West Virginia, and was a stud, man. This guy was a stud. Voted 12 times into all NBA first and second teams, NBA All-Star team 14 times, and was All-Star MVP in 1972. This man scored over 25,000 points.
There's only 3 to ever do it, and he's one of them.
Yeah, go ahead. I got one more, but you're probably going to say the same thing. Go ahead. Uh-oh.
Huh?
Say it again.
We dropped out there for a second. I'm back. You said you got one. I was just going to say, man, 25,000 points, only third player ever to do that. Won an NBA Finals MVP, and he was on the losing team.
That's crazy.
Awesome GM. Took the Lakers to championships, built the Golden State team. He built another team, too, Memphis. He built the Memphis team. The guy is just – he was
Clippers.
Was it the Clippers? I thought it was Memphis.
Yeah, the most recent was the Clippers. He did Memphis
So
too, I think.
so the it's just amazing, man, what the guy accomplished while he was alive. You can tell that he loved the game. He breathed and slept and ate the game. Even when he quit playing, he was still part of the game. He's
Yep.
And talking with older people, I don't get to say that very often, but talking to older people at my
Yeah.
church, we were talking about Jerry West, and all them men claim that there is nobody that had a purer shot than Jerry West. Shot almost 50% from the field during his career. I think it was like 47 something. Just crazy, man. Crazy stats.
Yeah.
It's sad that we lost him, but I mean, there'll probably be a heck of a team waiting for us in heaven to watch.
Yeah. Here's something that blew me away. This man lost 7 finals in a row, before he won one or whatever.
They were all against the Celtics, weren't they?
I think so. He it said something that he felt like they were hexed. They were cursed. It didn't matter what they did. It was the Celtics. You know what I mean? They lost 7 though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what people were probably saying about him? You know what I mean? Like, think about how they are nowadays when you don't win 2 years in a row or something.
Well,
like,
thank
oh my
goodness
gosh.
Thank goodness back in Jerry's day they didn't have social media. You got all your information from the barbershop and the newspaper. So
Yeah.
I mean, whatever was said about him wasn't said to his face. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. That stinks. That must have been very hurtful. All right. Anything else on that? You got anything else about Jerry, Mr. West?
No, that's it about Mr. West.
All
Rest
right,
in
well,
peace.
Rest in peace, yes, sir. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
This is an emergency message. Stop what you're doing and hit the like button. Also comment and subscribe. Thank you. We now return you to your program.
All right, man. So I got a funny commercial that we can show. Do you want to see this funny commercial?
Sure, go for it.
All right, watch.
This is Sheriff Cooter Wilmot of the Boudreaux Parish Sheriff Gas Station Beer, Bait, Barbecue, Barbershop, Laundromat Department. Remember our motto in Boudreaux Parish: we will find you and we will tase you.
Nice.
I saw that one the other day. I was like, I got to show Tuck this. This is hilarious.
Only way that could have been better if the guy was dressed in LSU stuff when he tased.
I'm gonna tell Dale to make a remake of it. Put on all your LSU gear and make a remake of Mr. Cooter.
Only in Louisiana can you find all of those things in a gas station. That's what Bobby Otten said.
All right, man. Next subject. The NBA Finals. I thought this would be a different conversation. I thought we would be saying, man, the Mavs played awesome last night. They came back 2-1. What a series. This is going to be great. It's going to go 6-7 games. It's going to be awesome. Dude, you come out and lay an egg at home and go down 3-0. What's your thoughts? Tell me about it.
I have a few thoughts. One of them is that Luka is totally being exposed on the defensive end of the floor. They're attacking him every time they go down, and he can't play defense without fouling. Now, I have a few complaints about the refs because people were getting clothesline going down the middle of the lane, and then they would call a ticky-tack foul at the top of the key, and it was really starting to bother me. It's like either you call everything or you don't call nothing. Put the whistle away. But with 3 minutes left, Luka fouls out, It's the Kyrie show, and I love Kyrie, but he's a number 2. He's not a number 1. You need your number 1 on the floor. If anybody lost that ball game last night, it's Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
You don't put the refs in a situation where they have to make a call, especially when you already have 5 fouls, you big idiot.
I know, man. Trying to take a charge.
And I don't really think
they
laid an egg. Now they took the third quarter off. They let Boston run out to 21 points or something in the third quarter. They keep it close in the third quarter with the way they played the fourth. They might have had to lead for a lot of the fourth, but they had to climb back from that 21-point deficit, which they did. But they just, they couldn't get over that hump. They had sunk themselves too far, couldn't get over the hump. And you got to play 4 quarters, man. You can't play 3. You can't play 2.5. You got to play 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And my biggest disappointment is Luka. You just can't do that. Man. I hate this saying, must win, but that was a must win last night. Now you're down 3-0, and there ain't nobody come back from 3-0. Now, will they? I'll be interested to see how they come out in game 4, if they're just going to lay down and take it, or if they're going to come out with some fire. Now, what I would like to see, and what has happened for the last 3 ball games, in my opinion, is the Celtics have just been more physical. They have pushed our bigs around. They push Lively around. They push Gafford around. They realize that the refs are not calling stuff, so they are playing physical ball. And if I'm Jason Kidd, which I am not, and Jason Kidd didn't call me and ask for my opinion or anything like that. But if I'm Jason Kidd, that's what I'm calling them out on. I'm like, y'all are soft. Y'all are just soft as you can be. And I would go old school Lakers Celtics. And the first time Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum went in there to do a layup, I'd put him in about the 3rd row and go sit in the locker room for getting ejected. Because the Mavs need some fire. They need to play more physical. I thought it was a great thing that they went and got Gafford in the trade, but Gafford still needs to put on some weight, man. He's getting thrown around like he's, a little bitty guy out there.
Yeah. Well, he's Lively. I saw was averaging more minutes than Gafford.
Yeah. Well, Lively's been playing better.
Well, Gafford is, I think, more physical.
Really?
I mean, Lively's more. I mean, I don't know. You lose some offense for sure. Gafford was like 3 or 4 points more per game. I don't know. He just seems more physical to me. I don't know if he actually is, but
I don't think he is. My biggest complaint about Lively is he has problems with his hands sometimes. Sometimes the ball looks like it's greased up because he can't catch it. And then there were a couple of plays last night that I was watching where Kyrie made the right play, but his teammates weren't on the same page that he was. Like, he threw a pass where that player should have been, but the player wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, if you and I are playing in a pickup game, and we used to be really good at it, knowing where the other person's at and what you're thinking, where we're going to go with the basketball. And I think Kyrie actually made the right passes. It's just his teammates were just – and – other than PJ Washington, who stepped up for the Mavs?
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Luka puts down 47. Kyrie puts down 30-something, and you still can't win. To me, that's role players.
Well, there's nobody. That's what I was saying last night. I mean, they don't. There's after PJ, you got a massive drop off. Jones,
massive. Green.
I mean, it just you got to have more help from those guys. And then I looked at the stats for the Celtics, and they had at least 4 guys in double figures. And then they're not as deep, though. I will say that. They've got like 6 guys that are playing all the minutes. 6, 7 guys.
Well, they haven't even Jordan Walsh hadn't even come off the bench. I
Yeah.
hadn't even seen him in this series. I thought he might get some trash time or something in that blowout. I don't know if he's hurt or what.
No,
He might end up getting a ring out of it.
He might. Anyway, I don't know. Do you think they're going to even win one game, or is it straight sweep now? Like I can't even see them. I don't see.
I would.
I don't know.
My ultimate dream would be for them to be the first team ever to come back from 3-0 and win the championship. Okay, not going to happen. I don't think.
Yeah.
But
they're going to win one at least. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on how they come out. In that fourth game, and it'll depend on how Boston wants to come out too, because Boston might be thinking, "Hey, we did our job. Let's go back to Boston and win this at home." But you better not be thinking like that. You better be thinking, "I got you on the ground. It's time to step on you and put you out."
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll win a game. I'm hoping they come out with a little fire under them, but I keep thinking that they're going to do that the last 3 ball games, and they haven't done it. And it looks like a totally different team than the rest of the playoffs. The rest of the playoffs, they were playing as a team. People were hitting shots. I mean, looking back now, it probably would have been better if Minnesota would have won. We probably would have got a better game between Minnesota and Boston, or maybe not. Maybe Boston's just that good, and they'd be up 3-0 on Minnesota. Who knows?
They've been good all year.
Yeah, maybe I just don't want to give Boston their credit. I don't know.
They're good. They are good for sure. They got some good shooters.
Dude,
they got people. They got 2 guys two guys that can pick out their weakest player on defense and break them down and score anytime they want to. They got 2 of them.
Yeah, and you can't blitz one or then blitz the other, because then you just leave the other one wide open. It's
yeah.
It's tough, but that should be happening on the other side of the ball too. Plus, they got this 86-year-old geriatric who's shooting threes and nailing them and playing ball like he's fresh out of college. What is up with Al Horford, man?
I know. Jeez,
Al Horford gonna get in the Hall of Fame before Bill Laimbeer does, man.
I know. He played on that Florida team.
Yeah,
from all those years ago.
Joakim Noah and all them guys.
Yeah, crazy.
Man. All them guys are retired. Al's still shooting threes.
I don't think they're gonna come. I don't think they're gonna make a comeback either. I feel like they'll win one. They're gonna win this next one at home. Of course, I thought they'd win last night too. But they'll say they win one more at home, and then they go back to Boston, and
it's over.
It's over. It's just that's gonna be too much. So
I wonder if Will, Coach Lee and Will the other night we were talking to, I wonder if he'd rather they go ahead and just win it, or if he'd like them to come home and win.
Yeah, I bet he wants them to come home. Don't you think? Get winning on the home floor? That'd be pretty sweet.
If I had tickets, yeah, I'd want them to come home. If I don't have tickets, just win it. Just win the thing.
That'd be pretty sweet. All right, well, let's move on to the next thing here. So let's talk about some Razorback football, bro. Razorbacks, man. The press out there is not very friendly to the Arkansas Razorback football program, bro. Well, I saw we were picked, I forget it was 14th out of 16. Finished last. I saw a stat where they're picked to 4.5 games. I think is the
4.5.
4.5 is the over and under.
How do you win half a ball game?
I don't know, but that's
wait. That's what Dallas did last night. They won half a ball game.
That's the Vegas stats or whatever. But I'm trying to be positive.
Okay.
And I've watched a lot of stuff, read a lot of stuff. I know a lot of people don't like Pittman, but the team, regardless of that, I think our offensive line is going to be freaking good. I think our defensive line is going to be really good.
What is it about Pittman they don't like?
They think he's dumb. I think he doesn't. You think he doesn't? They just don't like. I don't think he knows enough. He's not Nick Saban. You know what I mean?
Oh well, there's only one Nick Saban.
Yeah, well, they don't care, because if you ain't winning every single game, you suck. They're talking about firing DVH, bro. Fire DVH. The guy wins all his games every year. Has you in contention every year. Fire that guy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's not do that.
My biggest thing about DVH, I know we're off subject here, but my biggest thing about DVH is who are you going to replace him with? Who out there is better than DVH? And then DVH is going to turn around and go somewhere and win a national champion. And you're going to be like, that was our coach.
Yeah. Here's what Bobby said. I think Arkansas gets bowl eligibility this year. Some of the portal players and what's returning is nice. It's a linebacker that you all need. It is a linebacker. We brought in at least 2 or 3 or more because everybody left and went all over the place. We did get some guys. I saw a couple of good guys that came in. Larry Worth was one of them. There's a couple other guys that they got that are going to have to prove themselves on defense. I like the Switzer kid they got too. He's like a rover type, strong safety type.
Any relation?
Player. He's really good. No.
No.
They don't look alike. You know what I mean?
Hey, you don't know what Barry was up to.
But I'll get your thoughts on what you think about the team, right? Or what you think, and then I want to go over a couple of players I think are going to be good for us, and I think and then I've got a nugget for you.
Okay. All right. I think we upgraded at QB. I think this what is it? Something Green. What's it? Talon. I always want to say Taylor for some reason, but this Talon Green kid, the videos I've watched of him, and he's not lacking in confidence. I mean, when they interview him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I can make all the passes. I can, I can throw all the passes. I can do all this." And I like the confidence at quarterback. And his highlight video, the hype videos that they're putting out from the university, he looks good, man. He looks like an upgrade from KJ. Same style, but a lot faster, longer legs. He's got a little bit of deceptive speed, kind of like Matt Jones. Like you don't really think he's at full speed until he runs right by you.
Yeah, I thought that too.
The offensive line, they've brought in a couple of guys. They're trying. That's going to be the biggest issue for me. Last year, and nothing against KJ. I loved KJ as a quarterback. I wanted him to succeed. But the offensive line, it was just terrible last year. We were getting the surge that it didn't matter who we were playing either. Whoever we were playing, it seemed like the defensive surge was in the backfield before our play even developed. They were already back there. And usually the way you combat that is with some screens and stuff. And I don't even remember us throwing a screen last year, which to me kind of irritates me because, screen's a great play, man. Maybe the most exciting play in football if it's done right.
Our offense was just defunct.
Yeah. We got Haas back. Haas is looking good in the hype video. He's catching balls. They had a couple that, because of the new NCAA rules, they can play 7-on-7 now. So they're playing 7-on-7 in spring ball. And I mean, he is making catches. And I'm like, whoa, this kid's looking good. Now put him up against SEC defense and who knows, he's
going to be good.
That's one of the hardest evaluations to make because depending on what college team you're playing, the speed, like when you play in Alabama, the speed on that team is 10 times more than the speed on, say, a Vanderbilt team or somebody like that. So every week you're going up against these guys and you're thinking, man, we're tearing up our practice team. Yeah, it's your practice team. That's why we're tearing up. I like their motto that they got going this year. It's raise up the hog. We're all one hog. We're going to be
embrace the hog.
Embrace the hog. We're all going to be together. He's using words like accountability and words I like: responsibility, accountability, passion. Yep. He's using these words talking to these kids, and if you watch him in his team meetings and stuff, and I realize they're 18, 19-year-old kids, but I can see that they're buying in. They're buying in to what he's selling. Now, if that relates to wins on the football team or a football field, I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
One of the things that I do like about Pittman that nobody seems to care about anymore because everybody just wants a championship is that we don't get stories from Fayetteville about kids getting caught intoxicated or some kid doing something stupid here or some kid doing something stupid there. The news coming out of Fayetteville is about football. Now, it might be about how bad the football team is. It's still not the crappy headlines that we were getting when John L. Smith and what was that other guy from SMU? I can't even remember now. But we had kids in trouble all the time. We took a kid. We went to the Belt Bowl one year. Jeremy Sprinkle. I'll never forget this. All right. They took him to Belk's and gave him a $500 gift card at Belk's.
I remember this.
All right. And this stupid SOB gets caught shoplifting. You got a $500 gift card. Why are you shoplifting?
Yeah, I know. I don't get that either.
We don't get stories like that since Pittman's been on the hill. Now, Pittman he also did he also kind of did the Houston Nut thing where he came in and he overperformed his first year and he won all of our little trophies. You know, we got the boot and we got the battle line and we got this and we got that. We won them all. And then the next year we sucked again. You know? So Pittman, and that happened to Houston Nut too. Houston came in and we were on the verge of going to a national championship game until the Tennessee game, which I have a buddy that I know it hurts him to talk about that game when we talk about it. But we were on our way to the championship and we blew it in Tennessee. And then the next year, all those seniors, that was the year that he had Brandon Borlesworth and he had that great offensive line and all those guys left. And then Houston was sitting there holding this bag like, oh man. And he never got us back to that vying for a national championship. So he didn't. And he's actually, when you look back at Arkansas football, he's actually one of the winningest coaches that we ever had. It was like 70-something% he won of his ball games. Yeah. I mean, that's not Nick Saban stats, but that's pretty good stats at Arkansas. Yeah. So I am now starting the Bring Back Houston Nut movement. Bring back Nut.
Stop it. Okay, well, let me make you feel better. Let me give you some hope.
Okay.
All right. I watch. I'm a Hogs Plus subscriber, so I watch a lot of the interviews with players, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff. Our offensive line is going to be better. We have some men now. We got Addison Nichols from Tennessee. We got Fernando Carmona from San Jose State. He's going to be our left tackle, and he's a dude.
Beast. All right,
he's
good.
a dude. You know what I mean? So we got that coming in, and then we got a couple other ones on the offensive line as well. I think we only have one returning starter, like projected starter, right now, and that's that Braun kid. So our offensive line is going to be better. Okay. I saw a thing about they graded all the defensive ends in the SEC. Okay. And did you know who the number one ranked defensive end graded out was? And where he went to school?
So tell me Arkansas.
It is Arkansas. It's not Landon Jackson.
Who is it?
It's the new transfer we got, Anton Juka.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Anton Juka.
This man, I saw some. I didn't write his stats down, but I heard his stats, and he had like 15 sacks and like all this stuff at Albany or somewhere, some small school.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
But he graded out at like a 90-something%, like a 90. At number one.
Well, how'd they grade him? They grade him on his game film. They grade him.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't. It just had a list. You know what I mean? It had a list, and he was ranked number one, and Landon was ranked number like 10 at like a 75 or 78, and he's a projected first round pick You know what I mean?
Okay. Here's
So
where
you're telling me, wait. So you telling me that we have two in the top 10 defensive ends. Okay, I'm happy about that. If you tell me we had a better defensive end than Landon Jackson, I'm happy about that.
Okay, but he played at Albany.
I don't care.
Can you name me Albany's rival?
No, I can't. I don't even know their mascot.
If they're grading him off his game film, which I don't know how else it would, they would grade him. But if they're grading him off his game film, he probably looks like a stud if he's playing at Albany. Hey, I'm Mr. Enthusiastic. I'm happy to have two defensive ends, but
15 sacks, 21 and a half tackles for loss, 55 total tackles. Played all 15 games. Won
15 games.
Won the Coastal Athletic Association title. So they were good. You know, I mean, they won the title. So yeah, I'm excited about that a little bit. Like, I saw that list. I thought, well, that gives me some hope. So I think our offensive line is going to be better. Defensive line is going to be better. I think we're going to be better. Now, that doesn't mean everybody else didn't get better. That doesn't mean that. I think we're going to be better than we were last year, which is a thing. And then, of course, you mentioned Talon, which was a big pickup too. Man, and then Jake Jackson, the running back from Utah.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
That dude's a stud. And the freshman, Braylon, what was his name? Braylon something. Anyway, he's good. He's going to be good too. I think we got some good players. I don't want to fire the coach and start all over.
Well, they're not going to fire Pitt. I mean, if they do fire Pittman, they already have their head coach in place.
In most of the chats I'm in right now, the conversation for Arkansas fans is when they fire Pittman at the end of this year, we can get this coach. Like, they're already talking about that. That's how the fan, like, they're not. The negativity just brings me down. I can't even stay in those chats very long because I'm just like, why are you guys so stinking negative? You know what I mean? Like, have some positivity, have some faith in your team, in your coach.
Well, to defend my fellow Razorback fans here, we've had hope, we've had faith, we've been through so many coaches. We've been through such a dumpster fire for the last 15 years that it's hard to stay positive. I can't listen to sports talk radio here in Arkansas. I want to tell these guys, it was a state job. Why didn't y'all apply for it? Because apparently you're better at coaching than Sam Pittman is. So why didn't you apply for the job?
Yeah. So anyway, I think I don't think we'll finish as bad as what people are projecting. I'm not saying we're going to win the whole thing.
I'll give you a little bit of hope, man. I'll give you a little bit of hope. Almost every year they project somebody at the bottom over my dead body. Come on over the purple and gold.
Maybe if we was in high school, Dale, I can root for high school teams, purple and gold.
But there have been year after year when somebody gets projected at the bottom of the SEC and they overperform and they end up doing better. So I would take their early projections and, to me, it's kind of like naming a number one at the beginning of the season. I don't even think you ought to be able to rank them until like they played 5 games.
Yeah.
Because every year I got to listen to how this is Notre Dame's year. Notre Dame's going to win it all. Notre Dame sucks every year, or they don't get as far as they should have.
They're always 10-2.
Yeah, they're always 10-2. Now,
Oklahoma.
Don't get me wrong. As an Arkansas fan, I would drool over 10-2. 10-2, any day of any year, I'm willing to go 10-2.
Yeah, for like 3 years, and then they want to fire everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well,
Can't win the big one.
we can talk more about the Razorbacks each week. Let's touch up on the Cowboys for a little bit, and then let's get out of here.
All right.
So
my take on the Cowboys, probably going to upset a few Cowboy fans out there, and I am a Cowboy fan, so let me say that first. But
okay,
they have really. This is a PG show, but they have pooped the bed, man. Jerry did nothing in the offseason. He had a chance to get Derrick Henry and was not interested. How are you not interested in Derrick Henry?
Some people think he's old. He's a running back. They think he's old.
Dude, I'm just talking 1 year. 1 year. Would they do you do a year contract, give him a big fat 1 year contract?
I agree. I don't know. I don't think you. How can your best option be Elliott?
Yeah, they brought Elliott back.
That's your best option?
No, that's not the best option. Now he's a good option. Love you. He's a good option if you're on the 1 yard or you're on the goal line and you need to punch it in. He's a good option for that. He falls forward for 1.5 yards, every time. But that again, Cowboys come down to the offensive line. Now you got Zach Martin saying that he's contemplating retirement.
Oh gosh, is he?
Yeah. So I hope he's contemplating it at the end of the year. I hope he's not contemplating it before the season starts.
Well, they might have seen it coming then, because I was looking at their draft picks, and we got O-lineman, tackle.
But we lost Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith went, I can't even remember where he went. I want to say Philly or somewhere like that.
Really?
Yeah, Tyron Smith's gone. So we had a couple of other guys, not Zach Martin, but the other guy retired. I can't remember his name. Or no, we lost to another team. We had to rebuild our offensive line.
Tyrone went to the Jets.
Jets. I knew he went somewhere like, he's going to block for Aaron Rodgers.
That stinks.
Well,
no.
Okay. It does and it doesn't. Tyron is getting older and he's plagued with more injuries. I think he missed 4 or 5 ball games for us last year.
Yeah, he has been hurt a lot over the last few years, especially.
And we're getting some young. I like this first round pick that they picked up, the offensive line that they want to replace Tyron Smith with. I watched some of his highlight videos. He's a good blocker.
Yeah, the kid from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guyton. He is good. I watched him play some. I think he's good too. Like their whole draft. I mean, you can tell they're concerned about their line. They got 3 O-linemen and 2 defensive linemen, and they only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 8 picks or something.
But have they settled their deal? Have they settled their little thing with CD yet?
No.
That's still going on?
That's the thing. They need to sign CD. They got to sign Micah, and then they got to sign Dak again.
Yeah, well,
they're going to have to do all that.
Out of those 3, Dak is the least important. Okay.
I would agree with that.
I like Dak. I do. I like Dak. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't know if he's elite. I don't know if he's elite, but he's a good quarterback. He makes stupid decisions sometimes, but everybody does. He needs to get a little bit better at the RPO. There were several times last year. Well, KJ for the Razorbacks, he had problems with the RPO last year. There were times when he should have handed the ball off. There were times Dak should have kept it and rolled out the backside. But, we're talking about a split-second read. So I can't get too mad at him. But I see other guys in the NFL that can do that split-second read. Mahomes don't have a problem making that split-second read.
Yeah.
So I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose Dak. But out of those 3, Parsons and CD are your 2 most important to get signed. And if you got to lose Dak, I mean, we still got that Trey Lance kid. Maybe we give him a shot at throwing the ball around. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. I started to say if you sign CD, who's going to throw him the ball? You know what I mean?
Well,
So
that's the
Dak
thing
is
about
he's
CD.
important. I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure I could throw the ball to CD and he'll catch it. That guy is
I don't
amazing,
know,
man.
man. But Dak said, I mean, I don't have him on my fantasy team anymore. I did for a couple years, for a long time, but he's been good the last couple of years as far as stats
Oh,
go.
stat wise, he's through the roof. It's just
So
he has that same problem that Romo had. When we get to the playoffs, something goes
yeah,
wrong, and it's not
yeah,
always his fault. It's not always his fault. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. You look at Baltimore last year. Baltimore was supposed to win the whole thing, and then they get in a playoff game and forget how to run the football, like they had never run the football before in their life,
yeah,
and they end up losing. I mean, I don't. You can go back to Seattle and Carroll. You're down there on the goal line, and you decide to throw the ball that gets intercepted to lose the championship. When you could have gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch, who has beast mode and would have pounded it in there. It just sometimes
yeah,
decisions made reflect on the quarterback, even though he might not be making the decision. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Quarterback and head coach are probably the two most criticized positions because you get all of the glory, or you get all the glory, but you also get all the other crap when glory don't happen. You get all that other stuff,
yeah,
because you're the head coach. And
yeah.
I know other teams don't like me saying this, but he's not just a quarterback. He's a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboy, America's team. And all eyes are on him. I mean, not only are you being critiqued because you're a quarterback, but now you're a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So it's like everybody just piles on even more. So I don't know. He made millions of dollars with his last contract. He'll make millions of dollars with his next contract. I don't feel bad for Dak. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, out of those three guys, we got to get CD and Parsons signed up. And I'm sorry, Dak, that you're on the back burner. That's how I would go about it.
I
Now,
would too.
Jerry's also, I'm pretty sure that he's got Joe Biden disease going. He's got dementia, and he's just freaking. Some of the decisions he makes, I'm like, what in the world are you doing, man? How do you not go get Derrick Henry? When I heard Derrick Henry was in free agency, I was like, we're going to get Derrick Henry. We're going to get Derrick Henry, and we're going to be so awesome. And no, he ends up going where?
Baltimore.
What? Baltimore can already run the football. They don't need Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I know. And I saw a couple things come out where like, oh, he hasn't lost a step, and I'm like, that's like
Now,
the rest of the league.
On kind of a different take here, I did happen to watch on the ESPN Classics. They were showing Green Bay. Who was Green Bay playing? I can't remember. But Green Bay, when Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they were showing that game. And I'm telling you, if you want to scout the Dallas Cowboys, you just go back and watch those old tapes from Green Bay, because Mike McCarthy is running the same stuff. He has not changed at all. He is running the same plays. He's half run, half pass, just like he was, with Green Bay. He's doing that with the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, I don't know. I honestly don't know how much the head coach position, matters in the NFL, but I'm not a huge fan of Mike McCarthy, but I don't know who you go out to get who's better.
I don't know. Nick
bring
Saban.
Back. Ooh, Saban. He tried the NFL one time and didn't do well.
Yeah, I think he might look at it different now, though. He's older and the reason he got out of college was because of all the money and all that stuff. So this might be
Hey man,
his time. Nah, he's too old. He ain't doing that. I'm just kidding. But it'd be funny if he did. You never know.
it would be funny. It would be hilarious. A guy that I absolutely detest, I would have to start rooting for.
Yeah.
I only detest him because he wins all the time. That's the only reason I do. And if you're going to be hated, what a great thing to be hated for. You're a winner. You know,
Yeah.
you hate me because I'm a winner.
Yeah. I didn't really have anything else about the Cowboys. I think we got to get CD and Micah signed. We got to, and I think we got to do something about the running back position. And if you're not going to pay Dak, then trade him and get some stuff for him before it's too late.
That's a real good point, man.
Because if you wait too long, it's going to be too late, and he's going to be on the downhill side, and nobody's going to want him.
Well, and you can get good value for him. There are a lot of teams out there that do not have a good quarterback. And Dak, like I said, I don't know if Dak is elite, but he's definitely good. So
yeah,
you could definitely get some value out of him. That is a good point.
Okay. I got one more question for you. We had a call in earlier today.
I didn't know that you could even do that.
He can't. He called me personally.
Oh,
we're gonna call it a call in.
Okay, all right.
Which Razorback has the most NBA rings?
Ooh, that's tough, man. Let's see. Which Razorback has the most NBA rings? Well, Darrell Walker got a couple. Scott Hastings might have one.
I don't even know how to look this up.
I don't know if Joe Klein ever won one. Todd Day never won one. Corliss never won one. I would say Fisher, but he went to Euler. He didn't go to the U of A.
Did Alvin win one?
Alvin Robinson?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how to look this up. We're gonna have to
you know what? I'd have to go and do some research.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
It's not gonna be a starter on the starting five. It's gonna be somebody who plays off the bench and just happened to be on the team. Like Darrell Walker got lucky and got on the Chicago team right there towards the end of their run.
Yeah.
Moncrief never won one.
Did he? That was my next guess.
Moncrief, he played for Atlanta and the Bucks, and I don't think the Atlanta has ever won one.
Did Joe win one?
Joe Klein?
Yeah.
No, he was on that Phoenix team that Jordan beat, but he didn't win one. Matter of fact, there were two Razorbacks on that team. Oh no, he was on that Celtics team with Bird and them. He might have won one.
Who was it?
Joe Klein.
Yeah, Joe Klein. Let me see here.
Is it going to be a coach, maybe? I'm trying to think of some of the guys. Some of the guys, you got U.S. Reed, Marvin Delph.
Wow. No, Joe won a gold medal. He won an NBA championship as a member of the Chicago Bulls.
Joe Klein got one off the Bulls, huh?
In 1998.
So that was their
last year, Jordan's last year at Chicago.
That was his last year. We don't count this time with Washington, man. Just stupid. I don't know what the heck that guy was thinking.
Yeah, it's hard to give it up when you're
I'll have to do some research, figure that one out.
Well, for next show, that's the question. Let's figure that out.
The question. I'm gonna have the answer, man. And it's gonna shock you, probably. You're gonna be like, no way, that guy's got 5 rings.
All right, man. Before we leave, dude, I just want to bring up the mental health thing again for everybody out there who's listening or watching or sees this later. If you're struggling, need some help, need someone to talk to, there's a national hotline number you can call, 988, and it will get you someone to talk to. Don't try and do it alone. Get some help.
Yeah, we try to do everything on our own. But and if a friend comes to you and wants to talk to you, they're not looking for advice or anything like that. They just shut up and listen. Just listen to what they're telling you. Maybe point them in the direction of some counseling, the 988 number, some professionals. But you don't have to have the answers. You don't have to be the one to fix this person. You just need to be an ear, someone to listen to them, because that's usually the problem, is that somebody feels like they're not being heard, or they want to reach out and nobody's listening. So yes, nationally, 988, suicide touches everybody, man. Big's got people in his family. I've got people in my family. Everybody has dealt with this. Yep. People I know at church have had family members. I have a lady at work, her husband did this. Got to look for some help. You've got to reach out to people.
Yep. Yeah, don't try and do it alone. So, but appreciate you watching or checking in with us today and laughing
I appreciate all the comments.
Yeah,
that was nice of y'all.
Like, share, comment, all that stuff. Subscribe and catch us. We're trying to be on Mondays at 4 p.m. Central Time.
I think we might squeeze in a show here and there, but definitely Mondays at 4 we'll be there.
Yeah, we're gonna try and keep that consistent. So appreciate everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love.
Peace.
Thanks for watching our show. Remember to subscribe for more shows on the network. Smash the like button, share, and comment.